And here we go. Welcome into the Motivation Congregation podcast. My name is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Thanks for being here. Thanks for waking up with us. If you are new to the show, well, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Be sure to rate and review the show. Really helps to grow the platform. And a bit of background information about what the Motivation Congregation is. Well, it's a daily podcast that talks Torah and Musar. Each talk is 3 to 5 minutes, centered around the week's parsha. Normally, things are kicked off with Rashi's commentary, with a very, very simple goal at the heart of every single talk, and that is to clearly define the basic principles of Jewish faith, or what we call here, Yesodos HaEmunah. Hopefully each talk you'll find inspiring. Each talk is crafted to motivate and to galvanize. And be sure to check out the weekly Parsha podcast. It's part of the TMC Podcast Network. It is a weekly podcast that gives us a bit more time, about 25 to 30 minutes weekly, to discuss one point of the Parsha. It gives us some extra time to develop the idea properly, to pepper it with proofs, and to clarify it, elucidate it, and hopefully come out with a clear and practical takeaway. If you enjoy the show, or you just wish for some financial stability and success along with a piece of paradise to look forward to, consider allocating your Meiser funds properly. Tithe your wealth to see future and enduring wealth. That's what we are told. So in your tithes, be sure to keep the Motivation Congregation in mind, and perhaps slide that scroller down to the bottom of the page and click the link and become a monthly supporter of the show. The Meiser money that you give and the charity that you give, the tzedakah, goes directly towards the aiding of the distribution and the creation of the Torah content here, and with a piece of the next world as a reward. Seems like a no-brainer. I mean, unless, of course, one is a professional scoffer, gossiper, or heretic, then maybe he wouldn't have a portion of the next world. But either way, consider allocating some of your Meiser money to the show. Lastly, be sure to subscribe to the Motivation Congregation on WhatsApp, where you can wake up on a highlight every morning and stream the daily talk. You can even have it sent directly to your phone, in which case you will then never forget to wake up on a highlight. Plus, with all the other motivational content, the in-depth Sefarim book reviews, the trips to the Sefarim stores, the behind-the-scenes looks, the bonus material, it has a lot going on, and perhaps you will enjoy it. So find the link in the show notes. And as always, thanks for waking up with us. I hope you find this episode enlightening and inspiring. And your listenership and engagement, it really means a lot. So thanks again, and I hope you enjoy this episode. If you open up that head of yours and take a look around, you'll find this incredible organ, an incredible machine, what we call the brain. It looks kind of off, pinkish, really kind of looks like silly putty or maybe some spoiled linguine pasta all mixed together. But don't mess with it. Don't touch it in the wrong spot, because that machine, you're only going to get one of them. And it's yours to choose how you channel this incredible masterpiece of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he gave to you. The brain can do some extraordinary things, like process so much data that your body sends it constantly that it makes the Intel i11 processor or the Mac M3 chip look like child's play in an old Atari. The brain literally takes pictures from the eyes, flips it around, processes, sends it to body parts, is doing this constantly. It has a subconscious mind. But above all of the incredible faculties that this brain has access to and its abilities, far beyond all of these, there is one gift that the brain has that takes us to different dimensions. This is what makes us so human, and is the ability and the gift of imagination. The ability to go outside of your own world and literally use feelings and images that you can conjure up to take yourself to different storylines. Use your creative powers to create new beings, new ideas that you literally, with your ability of Koyach Hatziur imagination, you can come up with concepts far beyond this world, far beyond your physical experience, and literally become your own teacher as you're informing yourself. And the Kuzari tells us that God gave us this gift of imagination to be able to use it for good, to remember items that our body cannot remember, in order to reimagine things of what it would have looked like if we were there when Hashem gave us the Torah, to be able to conjure up with our imagination what the big booming voice of Anochi Hashem Elokecha would have been like, in order to be able to see and imagine the fire and the smoke of Har Sinai, the destruction that we're about to mourn, of all of the Besa Mikdashos, the temples. We have to use our imagination in order to mourn properly. The Kuzari tells us that the imagination, it was given to us for the sake of good, to do the mitzvahs. So if we're going to now, as we enter into the 3 weeks, the period of mourning that commemorates the destruction of the holy temples, the Churban, you really have to let the poetry that we're going to read speak to you, and let its emotive words help you to imagine what those horrible Romans would have looked like, what the Rishoyim would have been doing if you were witnessing it, and what Josephus was sitting up above on the bleachers just writing it all down. Just imagine how horrible all these things would have been when there's an actual totem pole at Salem and Avodah Zarah in the middle of the Besa Mikdash. Use your imagination to feel the pain. Use your Koyach Hatziur to let yourself feel the dire straits, the pain that the Shekhinah still feels, and the pain that all transpired that continues to live on now as we were launched into the exile. Use your power of imagination to really feel the Churban this year and understand what we have lost, so that we will then pray that much harder to be able to actually see with our own eyes the Geula and the new building of the third and eternal Besa Mikdash.